It was a misty autumn morning in rural Montana, sometime in early October of 1990. The sun had barely begun its slow rise over the horizon, casting pale orange hues across rolling fields and sleepy barns. Birds chirped quietly in the distance, and a light breeze danced through the golden grass. Old Man Harold, a retired railroad worker with a deep love for early mornings and strong coffee, stood on his porch. He sipped slowly from a chipped mug, his weathered eyes scanning the landscape beyond his wooden fence. His loyal companion, a mixed-breed shepherd named Buck, lay quietly by his boots, tail twitching at every sound. There was peace, yes, but something in the wind felt different that day. As Harold walked toward the chicken coop to gather the morning eggs, Buck suddenly stiffened. His ears perked. Then, without warning, he bolted toward the edge of the property near the pine forest. "What is it, boy?" Harold called out, concern tightening in his voice. He hurried after him. Buck had stopped in front of a thorn bush, growling softly. From within the tangled branches came an unmistakable sound, the faint, high-pitched cry of a baby. There, wrapped in a thin blanket, lay a newborn, face flushed from the cold, fists clenched tightly, crying for a mother who wasn't there. Back at the cabin, Harold lit the fireplace while Buck lay curled up beside the baby, refusing to move even for food. The child had stopped crying, sensing warmth and safety in Buck's presence. Through the night, Harold boiled milk, wrapped warm towels, and checked the baby's breathing every few minutes. Buck, meanwhile, stayed guard, his eyes never leaving her face. The storm howled outside, but inside the cabin something quiet and powerful was taking place. An unspoken bond forming between an abandoned life and a creature born to protect. By morning, the wind had settled and Harold set out for the town clinic, while Buck stayed with the baby. It took nearly 2 hours to get help. Soon, police and a young nurse named Ellie arrived at the cabin. Ellie examined the baby. She was dehydrated, hungry, and very lucky. She wouldn't have made it through the night without warmth, Ellie whispered, glancing at Buck. He saved her. The police began an investigation. It turned out the baby had been taken from a nearby town, left during a panicked, desperate attempt by a young mother unable to cope. The child, named Grace by the nurses, stayed at the clinic for a few days. But Buck grew restless without her. He paced the porch every evening, ears perked at every passing car. Eventually, social services made a surprising decision. They allowed Harold to become Grace's temporary guardian, citing unusual but extraordinary circumstances. And Buck, he never left her side again. He was her shadow, her blanket, her guardian. Years passed. Grace grew into a strong, joyful girl with wild curls and an old dog always a few steps behind. She would often ask, "Grandpa, tell me again how Buck found me." Harold would smile, rub her back, and say, "It wasn't just Buck who found you, Grace. I think you found each other." And Buck, now graying and slower in his steps, would rest by the window, eyes watching, heart still full. Until the very end, he remained her silent guardian.